This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC. Let's see what we can do for this copy of Amazing Spider-Man 16. There's a lot of stuff that we could work on. Let's take a quick overview of the current state. Then I'll do a little work on it, and we'll see how it turns out after a cleaning, and then we'll go ahead and give it a pressing as well. So when I look at a book like this, I want to see where are the places that improvements can be made. And I don't do restoration. It's all cleaning and pressing. So I'm not adding or removing anything from the book. I'm not fixing things like tears or adding color or anything like that. So there are things that can be done and things that can't be done with cleaning and pressing. But in this case, this is a pretty good candidate to get some decent work and end up being a little bit better looking. We can see over here by Daredevil's head, you can see that it's not flat there. You can see some creases in here, there. There are some black smudges and whatnot up here. Looks like there's something else there too. Those might be little, like, I don't know, food particles or something. Might not be able to do a lot for that. Feels like there's something actually on there. We can try to get rid of that. Down here by his foot, again, we see some of that there. With these black marks, sometimes you can clean those up, but it depends what it is. Sometimes it's hard to tell. This over here, this, I'm pretty sure that'll be okay. That looks like just grime. Down here it's a little bit darker, so my concern there is that it's smudged ink, and smudged ink can't really do much with. We also see that the binding is maybe a little bit off. If we start down here, we can see how much white there is between the actual edge and this black here, but up here there's very little. So it could be possible to do a spine readjustment, but before I do a spine readjustment, I do want to look at it as being a good candidate, and this I don't think would be. If we see the staple there, looks like it's already not, it has some tears, the staple's kind of loose. There's a lot of crack on the binding there. So I wouldn't attempt to do a spine adjustment on this, especially when it's not that bad of it's not that uneven. It's definitely not worth the risk of causing some damage to the book, especially with that staple there is not great. But overall, a lot of white here. We can clean that up quite a bit. I'm not sure how well you can see this. Not very well at all. This actually looks like a fingerprint here. That's tough to get out. When you see a full fingerprint like that, a lot of the time it's stuff that came off. It's actually ink. And again, ink is very difficult to get off. We can take a look at the back here. Gotta have to be real careful about these little tears here. But this could definitely use a lot of work. You can see all right here and there, that sort of grime there. Should be able to clean that up pretty good. If we look at the top, you can kind of see here how this is wider up here and a little yellower there. Can't do anything about that with a cleaning. That's probably just light damage, or maybe some sort of, it's not really foxing, but it would take restoration to fix that. There's some stuff here, so there's a lot of work that could go into this. I think it could get really nice. The back doesn't look too bad as it comes to Yeah, actually, if you get it in the light, right, and it's probably not coming through on camera, that really could use a pressing. There's a lot of little incidental creases and stuff like that that are there that a pressing should be able to get out. Alright, so let's straighten the camera out, and I'll try to keep this in pane as much as I can. I want the camera to be close enough so you can actually see stuff, but it makes it hard because I can't see a lot of the book at once. But let's see what we can do. Alright, I think that is it for the front cover. Some stuff cleaned up pretty good. This book, the whites do have a little bit of tanning that I can't do much about, but some of the things we looked at before, some of the areas down here, much wider, much cleaner. So we can get that to focus. So I was able to get that line that was out here, or was it over here? I can't remember because it's not there anymore. There was a fingerprint there. It's still there lightly. Again, there's some ink there, but I was able to lighten it up a little bit. I don't think you can see it at all on camera, but in person, it's there lightly. Yeah, just much wider in general around here, all the smudges and whatnot. There was a bit of a piece of food or something there I was able to get off. There was another one over here. You can still see the staining that the food left, or whatever, a particle of something that was there. But I was able to get most of the actual stuff off. And similar up here, you can still see some of this staining of where things were, but was able to clean it up at least a little bit. The light yellow or tan that was down at the bottom here, that got cleaned up a little bit. This looks like it's starting to have maybe a little bit of foxing or rusting in the paper. So some of that stuff is in the paper itself, not on the paper. But was able to clean it up a little bit. You can see probably, yeah, maybe if it'll focus. Okay. This is what I'm really hopeful for in the pressing. There's this sort of deep crinkle crease that's right there. It's kind of hit or miss whether that stuff will come out, but I'm really hoping that will flatten out in the pressing. But before that, still got to do the back. Okay, I think we're going to call that good for the back. Back cleaned up all right as well. Some of the spots there, I think that was sort of the biggest spot to get cleaned up, get detailed a little bit. That's looking a lot better. And then just general, overall, that muck and smudges and stuff aren't really present anymore. The paper itself, again, we can see at the top, if you can see that very big line where this is whiter and this is a little bit more yellow. This yellow kind of covers the majority of the book all the way down. So I don't know if this was pressed up against something that transferred a little bit of color or some sort of light damage or something. But for what could be done by a detailing, I think it came out pretty good. Oh, here's a good shot of, you see that crease right there. There's a lot of, this happened to hit the light really well. If you look at the shadow of the eraser tip there, going straight across the book, you can kind of make out a bit of a ridge as well. Just the way the light's hitting that, and with the ink that's there, you're able to kind of see that, but there's a lot of those throughout the book that it's really hard to see with the camera to pick it up. There's some right there as well. Maybe you can see some right there. So the next step is to go ahead and press. We'll hopefully flatten it out, get rid of those creases. I'm really excited to see what happens on that big one on the front. So I will do that, and then we'll come back and take a look at the final product. All right, let's see how this book turned out. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. The pressing did a lot of work. We already kind of looked at what the cleaning did. Let's see if we can get some good views. Bring this around here so we can get in the light a little bit better. So this that I really wanted to get pressed out really well. You can see a line there. That's a color break that was caused by it being crinkled up for so long, but it is flat. So I'm really happy with how that came out. Let's see if we can get it to focus a bit better here. There we go. The other trouble areas that were real obvious was up by Daredevil's head. So you can see there, if I get the light on there a little bit better. So you can see, don't really see any wrinkles. That's all flat there now. There. Yeah, all around looks good. Those whites look white, much better than they were before. Everything is completely flat. Kind of see by putting the light across it. Light would really show any sort of wrinkles or anything that would be there, but not seeing any. If we take a look at the back, yeah, I got all those little tiny creases out as well. I'm gonna try to shine the light there, and look, the colors are looking brighter. Another thing that you really can't show with a camera is the feel of this. So before I started, you could really feel it felt rough. And it's a lot smoother now because of the quick dry cleaning that I did at the beginning. Got rid of a lot of that surface dirt that you don't really see, but you can really feel. So the paper still has some texture to it, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. So yeah, really happy with the way that this turned out. I'm guessing it probably increased the grade probably by one full point. It's a low enough grade to begin with that maybe got up another 1.5 points, but definitely worth the investment to clean these up. So that's it. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed seeing this video, seeing the process. It sped up a little bit because it did take about an hour or so. Didn't want to have an hour-long video. I'll have to figure out a better camera solution for this because this has a really hard time with the focusing when I want it to. But if you want to see more of these types of videos, please let me know. Give me a like and a comment to let me know that you like these sorts of things. If you'd like to see a version that's a little slower, where I can speak in more detail about what I'm doing, I might consider doing something like that. But overall, hopefully that you enjoy kind of watching the general cleaning and detailing process. Thanks.